Research notes. 4 languages, 1 identity. A multilingual minority speaker in northeastern Thailand. Listen to the story of Namphon, a multilingual speaker living in the northeastern part of Thailand.
Ubin Ratchathani. A life across languages. Thong D. Namphon's life has been multilingual for as long as she can remember. Born to a Lao mother and Khmer father, she grew up in Surin and Sisaket province in northeastern Thailand, a region where linguistic diversity is woven into the fabric of daily life. Her grandfather migrated to Thailand in the 1960s and brought his extended family with him, including her father, seeking new opportunities in this multilingual border region. Her father, born in Cambodia, has spoken Thai and Khmer since early childhood, fluent in both languages due to his formative years straddling 2 cultures. Namphon's mother, however, took a different path. She never felt the urgent need to learn Thai fluently. When she first arrived in northeastern Thailand, she found that she could communicate comfortably in Lao at home, at the local market and within her community. The Lao language, also known as Phasa Ezan, served her well in this environment where many residents share linguistic roots with Laos, just across the nearby border. Over the decades, however, she has become quite proficient in Thai, not through formal education but through decades of watching Thai television, absorbing the language naturally through daily exposure and media consumption. This gradual, organic acquisition of Thai reflects a common pattern among immigrants to the region who find themselves surrounded by the national language while maintaining their heritage tongue. Several mother tongues at home. When Namphon's parents made the deliberate decision to speak their mother tongues at home with her and her sister Noi, her distinctive multilingual upbringing began naturally. Rather than choosing one language as the family medium, they created a linguistic space where both Khmer, her father's heritage language, and Lao, her mother's, could flourish. Speaking both languages at home felt entirely unremarkable to the girls. It was simply the way their family functioned. Outside the home, however, the linguistic landscape shifted noticeably. Their parents used Thai to communicate with neighbors, conduct business at the market, and navigate the broader Thai society. Additionally, Thai television was a constant, ambient presence in their household, a feature of daily life that introduced them to standard Thai and contemporary Thai culture. Consequently, Namphon and Noi grew up hearing 3 languages daily, a linguistic immersion that shaped their cognitive development and cultural identity. This trilingual environment was reinforced by their habit of watching Thai children's programs, which taught them standard Thai vocabulary and cultural references, and their parents' love of Thai music shows, which filled their home with melodic Thai language patterns. As Namphon reflects on this childhood experience, language was never a problem for me. This simple statement belies the complexity of her linguistic journey. For many children in multilingual households, language switching and code mixing can create confusion or anxiety. But for Namphon, the natural integration of 3 languages felt effortless. When she started school, Thai became increasingly dominant in her daily life, as is typical for Thai children regardless of their home language situation. At school, she met Srey Maelia, a Khmer girl who had recently arrived in Surin with her family from Cambodia and spoke Little Isan, the Lao dialect spoken in northeastern Thailand, or Standard Thai. Initially, Maelia faced the challenge of navigating a new linguistic environment while trying to keep up academically. The 2 girls became close friends and Namphon took on an informal teaching role, helping Maelia learn Central Thai and some Khmer outside of school hours. This friendship became transformative for both. For Maelia, it eased her transition into Thai society, while for Namphon, it deepened her understanding of how language can be a bridge between people from different backgrounds. They later attended university together in Ubin Ratchathani, where they studied different subjects but maintained their close bond. Both remain in the region today, their lives interconnected by that early linguistic collaboration. During their university years, Namphon recalls being surrounded by multilingual peers who came from various ethnic backgrounds across northeastern Thailand and neighboring regions. Several of her classmates spoke minority languages such as Akha, Bonner, and So, languages with relatively few speakers and little institutional support. Although classes were conducted entirely in Central Thai, since most academic materials, textbooks, and scholarly resources were available only in Thai or English, the multilingual environment was nonetheless intellectually stimulating. Students would often code switch between languages, discussing coursework in Thai while conversations between friends from the same ethnic background might drift into minority languages. Now 24 years old, Namfin identifies strongly as an Isan woman, viewing this regional identity as central to who she is. However, some people still perceive her as distinctly Khmer because of her father's ethnic background and the visible influence of his family's phenotypic features. Having lived her entire life in northeastern Thailand, Namfin does not strongly identify as Khmer, despite regular visits to Cambodia where she genuinely feels at home among relatives and within the landscape. The Thai-Cambodian border is close to her childhood home in Sisaket province, making such visits relatively easy to arrange. Similarly, the border with Laos is not far away, yet she has never visited her mother's extended family there, as they have all migrated to Thailand over the years and now live permanently within Thai territory. She has always been fundamentally shaped by life in northeastern Thailand, raised within a multilingual context and surrounded by friends who similarly navigate multiple languages. When she started her own family with her Khmer husband, this multilingual heritage continued naturally, becoming the default mode of family communication and child-rearing. During family visits to Cambodia, Namfin has noticed an interesting phenomenon. Khmer women sometimes perceive her as distinctly Thai, viewing her as an outsider despite her Khmer heritage. She attributes this difference to observable cultural markers, clothing styles, makeup application and overall aesthetic choices that differ between Thai and Cambodian women. Though Khmer women certainly have their own distinctive style and cultural practices, she notes with interest that they also enthusiastically consume Thai pop music and television shows, suggesting that cultural boundaries are increasingly blurred through media consumption and globalization. The decision to preserve heritage languages. Namfin met her husband Somchai at school, where they developed a romantic connection that would shape their family's linguistic future. A native speaker of Khmer, an Austroasiatic language spoken by the Khmer people indigenous to the region, Somchai grew up in northeastern Thailand speaking Khmer at home with his family, along with Thai and Lao through school and community interaction. However, Thai is unquestionably his strongest and most dominant language, the one in which he feels most confident and articulate. When their son Niran was born, a significant disagreement emerged between Namfin and Somchai about which languages to prioritize in his early childhood. Somchai advocated strongly for teaching Niran Thai first and foremost, believing it would be more useful for his education and future prospects. He envisioned his son potentially studying at a prestigious Bangkok university, pursuing opportunities that seemed to require native-like Thai proficiency and cultural fluency. From his perspective, focusing on Thai early would give their son the best competitive advantage in Thai society. But Namfin held firm to a different vision. She wanted to preserve and transmit their family's heritage languages, Khmer from his father's side, Khmer from her side, and Lao from her mother's lineage, all collectively known as Isan in the broader regional context. She recalls her reasoning, "I felt it would be sad if my children couldn't communicate with their grandparents in Khmer, and Lao. They would learn Thai soon enough at school and in the wider community." Her argument was pragmatic yet emotionally grounded. Thai would be unavoidable, taught in school by professional educators and reinforced everywhere in society. But their heritage languages, particularly Khmer, which has relatively few speakers and little formal institutional support, could be lost forever if the family did not consciously transmit them. She prioritized teaching both Niran and their daughter Bofo proper Khmer first, with the confidence that they would acquire Thai naturally and effectively through schooling and social exposure. This represented a deliberate choice to resist the linguistic assimilation pressures that many multilingual families face. Namfin is not alone in this conviction. Dr. Stephanie Siebenhütter, a linguistic anthropologist who has researched multilingualism and identity in Thailand for many years, explains the broader social context in which such family decisions are made. Research on multilingualism shows that parents typically want to provide their children with the best opportunities, as Namfin's husband believed. This can lead parents to speak only the national language, Thai in this case, with their children, neglecting their own first language in hopes of improving their children's educational and career prospects. She has observed this pattern repeatedly across Thailand and other multilingual societies, where economic pressures and educational hierarchies create incentives for language shift toward dominant national languages. Many parents weigh highly practical considerations when making these decisions, Siebenhütter elaborates. What will help my child? What will make their life easier? What will give them advantages? In my experience, it's mainly academics, intellectuals, and those deeply invested in cultural traditions and ethnic heritage who prioritize passing on their heritage language, even when doing so might seem impractical. Most families optimize for perceived economic and educational benefits. Namfin, however, uniquely prioritized both goals. She wanted her children to communicate fluently with all family members in their respective languages and to maintain cultural traditions and family bonds across generations. Consequently, her children grew up with 3 languages as well, creating continuity in the family's multilingual heritage across generations. This decision required deliberate effort and conscious parenting choices, a stance that goes against prevailing societal pressures. A 4th language through school and university. When Namfin's children entered state school in Ubin Ratchathani, she initially found herself worrying about whether she should reinforce their heritage languages more actively to prevent language attrition, the natural process by which minority languages gradually weaken when children spend increasing time in majority language environments. She considered supplementary tutoring or structured practice sessions. However, this concern proved unnecessary as circumstances aligned favorably. Because some of their classmates also spoke Khmer and Kue at home, the children continued using these languages alongside Thai instruction, finding natural peer reinforcement for their heritage languages. This became especially apparent during family visits to Cambodia, where her son and daughter maintained fluent, everyday Khmer communication with relatives, proving that their language skills had not atrophied despite increasing exposure to Thai at school. Today, both children comfortably use 4 languages: Kue, Thai, Lao, and Khmer, though proficiency naturally varies depending on context and frequency of use. They might use Kue with their paternal grandparents, Khmer with maternal relatives in Cambodia, Lao in casual neighborhood interactions, and Thai in formal educational and professional contexts. Most importantly, they speak Thai fluently and confidently, so they face no barriers to success, higher education, or professional opportunity within Thailand. This multilingual competence has become simply another skill in their repertoire, neither advantageous nor disadvantageous in most situations, but potentially valuable in cross-cultural contexts. Language and identity in multilingual spaces. Many multilingual speakers in northeastern Thailand use 3 to 4 languages daily without conscious reflection, Dr. Siebenhütter observes from her research. It simply feels natural to them, requiring no special effort or deliberation. Language choice happens automatically based on context and interlocutor, much like a monolingual speaker choosing formality levels or register. Over time, Namfin has recognized how important it is to her that her children retain at least some proficiency in Lao, Kue, and Khmer, not merely as languages but as connections to their extended family and cultural heritage. The children themselves increasingly view multilingualism as a natural skill, common and unremarkable in northeastern Thailand, something that distinguishes their region from other parts of the country. They encounter multiple languages regularly and practically, visiting neighboring villages where Lao or other minority languages predominate, shopping at markets where traders code switch fluidly between languages, and attending school and university where both Thai and minority languages circulate among the student body. When asked about their identity, young multilinguals in this region typically answer Thai, since they were born and raised in Thailand and experience Thai as their primary language of education and national belonging. Interestingly, Dr. Siebenhütter notes, some young people have to pause and consider what identity even means as a concept. There has never been a pressing need for them to commit to a single language or ethnicity, she explains. Multilingualism is so common and normalized here that identity boundaries feel far less rigid than in monoethnic or monolingual societies. When asked, they may say Thai, but this doesn't mean they don't also feel Khmer, Kue, So, or Lao. Identity for them is fluid and contextual rather than fixed and exclusive. This flexibility reflects a fundamentally different relationship to language and ethnicity than exists in many Western nations, where identity is often conceived as singular, bounded, and mutually exclusive. In northeastern Thailand, a person can authentically be Thai and Khmer and Lao and Kue simultaneously, without experiencing this as contradiction or confusion. Good and bad languages. Linguistic hierarchy and shame. However, Namphan's daughter Vanda, who studied law in Bangkok and lived in the capital during her university years, encountered a starkly different linguistic reality. In the urban center, she sometimes felt pressure to hide her minority background and Northeastern heritage, as significant urban prejudice exists against Northeasterners, who are often stereotyped as poor, rural, and unsophisticated. To navigate this social environment successfully, Vanda made a conscious effort to adapt her Thai speech patterns to Central Thai pronunciation and vocabulary norms, deliberately suppressing and erasing traces of her Isan accent and regional markers. She modulated her language to fit perceived expectations of educated Bangkok residents, experiencing what linguists call linguistic insecurity, a painful awareness that one's native way of speaking is socially stigmatized. Yet after completing her law studies and spending time back in her home region, Vanda experienced a profound shift in perspective. She realized she wanted to return to Ubon Ratchathani or Surin and build her life and career there, rejecting the implicit pressure to relocate permanently to Bangkok in pursuit of urban prestige and economic opportunity. This decision represented an affirmation of her regional identity. Unfortunately, people sometimes make distinctions between good and bad languages, Vanda observes with evident frustration. Languages associated with cities, education, and wealth are valued highly, while regional and minority languages are devalued and dismissed. She no longer wants to deny her heritage or suppress her linguistic identity to gain social acceptance. She does not feel diminished or ashamed by her linguistic and ethnic background. Rather, she now takes pride in speaking 4 languages with reasonable fluency and in coming from such a multilingual family, viewing her linguistic competence as a genuine achievement. When I was growing up here, it was so normal that I never thought about it, she reflects. Being multilingual was just how people lived. But since moving to Bangkok and seeing how people reacted to my accent and background, I've realized this isn't the case for everyone. Some people really do judge you for where you come from and how you speak. Her experience illuminates the gap between the normalized multilingualism of northeastern Thailand and the linguistic hierarchies that persist in Thailand's urban centers and national discourse. Toward acceptance and pride. Multilingualism is simply a normal way of living for many people in the world, yet it remains remarkable and challenging in societies organized around ideologies of monolingualism and linguistic purity. No one's identity or self-image should be compromised by linguistic or ethnic differences, nor should anyone have to constantly deny themselves, suppress their heritage, or modify their speech to belong to a particular national or cultural ideal. The story of Namphan and her family illustrates both the remarkable naturalness of multilingual life in certain contexts and the persistent social pressures that threaten to undermine it. Their journey, from Namphan's own seamless trilingual childhood, through her deliberate choice to pass on heritage languages to her children, to Vanda's complex negotiation of linguistic identity across different geographic and social contexts, reveals multilingualism not as a problem to solve but as a richness to be cherished, defended, and celebrated.
So far from today's research notes, what are your experiences with multilingualism from early age? Did you give up any of your heritage languages? Let us know in the comments, and thank you for your time.